Batman, Nickelbox, Nickel collection books. Let's go! Hi, this is Silver Chupacabra, and it is 2025. We are going to get into nickels today, and it's a brand new year to do it. And here's what we're looking to fill. We have got 2 holes in this nickel collection, Jefferson-wise. And yes, that one still is necessary, and so is that 38S. Everything else is already in there. Of course, upgrading would be nice. Always looking to do that. And you know what? Strafe Buffalo nickel wouldn't be too bad as well. In fact, our last hunt of 2024, nickel hunt that is, we did have a penny hunt. I've had 2 penny hunts in a row, which I'm not even going to post as long videos because they just weren't very interesting, to be honest. But our last nickel box hunt, we found that one. That was actually an upgrader, even though I did out the Nicodata, that 1960 Philly. This one is actually in better shape, if you can imagine that. But I already had a 1916 in there. It has to go on its way. I just put it away into spare finds, let's say that. And there's the rest of the book. But we've filled out a lot of holes last year with the Buffalo nickels, which is pretty surprising since, what was it? 38 was the last year that these were even out. So that's only about, 86, 87 years. Anyway, we're looking for all those. Hey, if a V-nickel wanted to come out, that would be awesome. Fact is, I just saw a short yesterday. Don't think Batman was here with us, but hey, he's always with us in heart. At least with me in heart. I watched somebody else's channel, and that guy actually found an 1887 like I had early on in the year. That was V-nickel. It was awesome. His was in actually awesome condition, too, while mine was pretty poor, but, fines are fine sometimes. Anyway, varieties. We know there are not a whole lot of varieties with nickels, but, we're still going to look for them. Anyway, what mysteries does this box have in it? Let's take a look on the top enders and find out at least a little bit of info. Okay, here is our nickel box that we are going to explore, and there are the top enders. Let's go ahead and take a quick look and see if there's anything inviting. That one looks like it has a little bit of age to it. Definitely has some newbies in there. Interesting that we've got a couple of different coin roll wrappers there. A little age to it there. Nothing really popping out there that's saying, hey, look at me, I'm old. There are no Buffalo nickels out there. You had that one probably a couple of years ago that was actually an ender. I'll never forget that. Foreign coin that he had, it was an ender. I can't remember if that was from Belgium or what. Anyway. Well, I don't see anything particularly old there, but you know how this goes, folks. We're going to take a look at this first roll here, which has that awful portrait of Jefferson, which we know really won't have anything to it. Neither will this one will either. But it's all that stuff inside. You know what When I look at this roll, I envision 48 V nickels in there. No, maybe mixed with some Buffalo nickels. And a 50D Jefferson and a 38S Jefferson. I've got a vivid imagination. But you know what is not imaginatory? Open this up and check out the nickels. Let's go. On to the second roll of this box on the very back end. I mean, not the very back, but the back end nickels. We've actually got two finds here. We've got a 1948 and a 1953. Very awesome. 48 does have a semi-key date. It would need to be an S mint mark, however, for it to be a semi-key date. It is not. It is Philly. And then the 1953, there are no semi-key dates for that. But a D or an S would be probably more wanted, however you want to put that. But I know the early 50s, Philadelphia did not make as many in the early 50s. That would be a D for Denver on that one. Very cool. So, first two finds, two rolls. Man, if you've had to find every roll, that would be so awesome. That's not going to happen. But a person can dream, right? Okay, next roll, the third roll here. We've got one in the roll here that I just laid out. I don't know if you can see that or not. That is not an S mint mark there. Let's see if I can get my thumb down there. It's not an S or a D mint mark, I should say. It's an S mint mark, which means that it's either 1954 or older. This is always cool. Definitely has been used, I would say. So there are actually quite a few semi-key dates with S, 48, 49, and 51. Key date, 38S, key date, 39S. Probably not going to be any of those, but, hope springs eternal. You never know. Could be a well-used coin from 38. If this is a 38S, man, I might run screaming from this room. It will not be a 38S. It's in the 40s. It will not be a 42 did not have an S anyway. So it could be 40, 41, and then from 46 on up, maybe 1940. 1940 San Francisco, which kind of makes a lot of sense. That's pretty well worn. Not a common day, but pretty common, I would say. Really making a whole lot of sense there. Anyway, we'll take a look through the rest of this roll. Okay, on to the fourth roll. Don't know if we have a find yet, but if it is, this would be the fourth find in 4 rolls, which is, we were laughing earlier, or I was laughing earlier, I should say. About, if we got one per roll, that'd be 50 of them. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. Another reason I even picked this up, because of the orange U. There is no mint mark. It doesn't even mean it's old, but it does have an aged look, actually. And that orange U, I usually see with Jefferson nickels between 46 and 49. So let's see what we have here. It is in the 40s. 1941. Oh, cool. I don't know if I've seen that tone with a 41 before, but very cool. 41 Philadelphia. Anyway, there are more coins to look at. Yeah, on to the 6th roll of this new nickel box. And we've got another find from 1940. This will be find number 5. So the quantity definitely is here with this one so far. And we've got a D mint mark. We had an S earlier. Need the 1940 Philadelphia for the mint cycle, folks. Pretty darn cool. That's one of the easiest ones to get, too. We'll find out. There's a little bit left. Still on roll 6, and we've got a 1957 popping out. Must have been the 40s. Well, at least 3 have been the 40s so far, but still most. Most probably a D for Denver, and that is exactly what it is. So cool. We're on the board with the late 50s. We are on to roll 7. Roll 8 of this new nickel box hunt, and about midway through, I would say, 1949 has popped up. Very, very cool. It's got decent detail. There's wear on the higher relief areas there, but pretty good shape. I think this has a pretty good chance of being an S. And that would be a semi-key date. Same thing around the back. Nice clarity, nice everything, really. It is not going to be an S, but it does have a mint mark. D for Denver. Very nice. Okay, we are on roll 9 of this new box set. We've had plenty of finds so far. Nothing of, rareness or stuff we're looking for. We might actually have one now. I noticed that the ender on this roll looked pretty worn on the back end. I could not see a mint mark, though. Go ahead and take a look at that. Does that... I see a 0 there, but that next digit looks awfully... not awfully, but it looks like a 5 to me. I'm betting anything that's a 50. Look at that. Woo! Yeah. Now, the reverse was actually facing me on the end of this roll, and we did see that actually when we were first looking at enders. Did not see a mint mark, but then again, you can't see everything in these, but that is definitely a 1950 nickel, folks, so it's at least a semi-key date. Lots of wear. It's not something I would expect to have a D mint mark on it. But you never know. We're going to check it out. Let's go ahead and pop her on over. And even if it doesn't have a mint mark, still a cool find. Will it have the D? Oh, man. Yeah. That's all right. I mean, it took me forever to find a 1950 in a box, and all of a sudden they came like in droves. I don't know. I can't remember if this is the 4th one now. It's a decent condition. It's got a lot of wear on it too. In fact, this will replace the one that's kind of like not painted black, but it's got a lot. It's looked like I don't think it's been in a fire, but kind of looks like it. But very cool, folks. You don't see these too often, and it is a semi-key date. 1950, folks. Awesome. Best find in 2025 so far. We continue on. Hey, same roll. Number 9. Not sure if I said 8 earlier or not. This will be the 9th find, by the way. So, 9 out of 9 rolls. This kid's averaging that 1. I still say it's not going to happen, but hey. Another 1950. It is not 1950, but it's from the 1950s. 1953. I believe we had a 53 earlier. I believe it was Philly, I believe. I might be wrong on that. Let's see. 57, 56, 55. Was it a 50? No, I thought it was 53. I'll check that in a little bit. Anyway, it's got a little bit of wear on it, but it's in pretty decent shape, actually. You can see all the windows, but they're not detailed ad nauseum. Could be Philly, but it could be DRS. I believe that is an S. It's cool. San Francisco. Not a semi-key date. 51 S would be a semi-key, but not this one. Very cool. I'm going to check this other one here real quick. Yeah, that was 53, all right. That was a D. Oh, cool. We got another chance for a mid-cycle. And still have plenty of rolls to look at. Okay, so we are on the second row of 10. Just started on roll 11. And, gee. Chupo, why is the roll still in the roll, per se? Well, you can see what's there. This has already been a very good box hunt, and it continues to be. We've had 9 finds, had a 50 semi-key date early on, or earlier, just a couple of rolls ago. And that sure does have a chance of looking, sure, I mean, it just looks like a silver or nickel. Let's go ahead and pop her over. Look at that thing. Yep. It's got a big old large P above it. Look at that toning on that. Oh, wow. I love the toning of silver war nickels. Even if they're worn to the nubs, which I think this one kind of is. It is. P. And look at how this is actually pretty worn. That's slick right there. Now, last box hunt I had just right before the new year had another 43P. I think I've had in the last 2 months like 6 to 7 43Ps. It's the most common. It has the most mintage. We did have a 45P on the box hunt before that. I'd like to see something different from a 43. And if it is a 43, how about a 3 over a 2? How about that? You probably wouldn't be able to see it. It's so worn. Let's figure her out or find her out. Silver nickels were made between late 1942 and 1945, ladies and gents. 35% silver replaced the nickel that nickels were made of. And I believe copper is one of the mainstays in here, too. We know it's going to be 1940, so we'll show the 4 there. 1942, nice! I don't see these too often. I think it's still a common one, but still. 1942P. Very worn. Very cool. Very awesome. And yet, I still have a whole lot to look at. Roll 13 of this nickel box hunt. Got another find, folks. This keeps on coming. We like it. 1941. We had a Philadelphia minted 41 a little earlier. I'd say this has a good chance of being Philly again. A little bit more detail window-wise for Monticello. Let's see. It's going to continue. Philly it is. Very cool. OC agrees. You have a little bit left, definitely a lot left in here. Oh, now OC doesn't like it now. He wanted a D or an S. Okay, roll 14 of this nickel box hunt. And I still have it set in the roll because this one right here looks awfully tasty, folks. It looks much like the last one that turned out to be Civil War nickel. Let's go ahead and reveal. Oh, look at the toning on that. But it's not. Ooh, wow. I am kind of shocked here. It's got wear, it's got toning, but that D there is not above Monticello. It's actually to the right. For all we know, this is going to be a 1964. And it very well could be. Although I've never seen a 64 tone like this. This will be very interesting. Toning on the obverse too. Decent detail on the obverse as well. Well, what will this next digit be? It is going to be 64. I cannot believe this. That is the greatest turn 1964D of all time. Wow. I would consider that a big fail, but I don't know. I almost want to keep that just for, I don't know, posterity. Cool. Roll 18 of this nickel box hunt, and I was kind of looking down the line here. This one here looks a little bit old. So reveal the date here a little bit. And it'll be in the 40s, 1941. Another 41. We've had 241s Phillies so far, if I am remembering correctly. What do we have here? Do we have another Philly? I would say that's probably a good possibility. Nope, but we will get a mint mark. D for Denver. So we did San Francisco for the mint cycle for that one. We got actually 3 years, 53, 41, and 40 that have a chance for mint cycle. And onward we go. On to roll 23. Took me time to count that, didn't it? Over in the roll that I have laid out, I did not see anything just when I had the roll standing up, meaning I didn't see any edges that looked, or rims that looked, I don't know, off. But take a look at that. It's a Civil War nickel, folks. 1945. I'm going to stand this up with some coins just to see, did we... No, that does not have any toning whatsoever. It's a little bit off, but I wouldn't say that's really much different from any of those other nickels. Let's go and pull it out. There it is. Like the striations. I mean, it's got toning, but it's not really that dark toning that we're kind of used to with Civil War nickels. What will the big mint mark be? Another P. Cool. You had one about 3 nickel box hunts ago, or 2, something like that. 1945 P. It's not a 1943. So we've had a 42p in this box hunt and a 45p. Nice. 2 Civil War nickels. And onward we go. Roll 24 of this nickel box hunt. Almost halfway through. I believe this will either be the 14th or 15th find over here. If I can actually find it. There it is. 1941. This will be the 4th one we've had. We've had 2 Phillies and a Denver. 1941. We need the S for the mint cycle. Well, we get the cycle here. I would say no, but I've been wrong plenty of times. Philly again. Lots of them were made in 1941, by the way, in Philadelphia, but hey, it's the 4th one. And onward we go. Okay, roll 27 of our nickel box hunt. Man, it's a 1941 kind of day here. If I can find it. There it is. You can see the 41. I don't think it's going to be 2041. Not quite yet, at least. 1941. Jefferson with a good smile on his face. Decent detail. Yeah, where, but I mean, you can see the windows on there. Need an S for the mint cycle for 41. And it refuses to give us one. There's 441 Phillies now and 141D. Whole roll to look at. Okay, still on roll 27. I was just kind of noticing how we don't have a whole lot of 50s, really. 3 of them. Well, we do have that 50 Philly semi-key date. All of them seem to be kind of the 40s, although they're bunched up in 1940, 1941. But the 2 Civil War nickels are, 42 and 45? Anyway, I'll get to the actual coin I'm going to show you and bring you in for all that stuff. 1954. So we got something else from the 50s. Very nice. Usually going to be a D, but there could be an S, could be a Philly. D it is. I say usually because when you live in the Denver metro area, hey, it is going to usually be Denver. Will it? Okay, roll 28. I think this is the 16th fine. We're still high on the list of stuff, whatever you want to call it. Fines. How about that? This one I noticed was looking like those late 40s, even though I think the last time I said that, we got something else. But I've already seen the third digit, and it actually is a 4. Now, if it's a 41, give me a break. We've already got 6. I don't think it's going to be a 41, however. There it is, 46, folks. 1946. He's pretty beat up, actually. Well, however you want to play that. It's an inanimate object, so it's like, it really doesn't have a gender, but, we call a lot of inanimate objects she's, but Jefferson is a he, so at least that is the facts up to this point. Anyway, let's see what we got here, if anything at all. Ooh, an S, 46S. That is not a semi-key date, by the way, but very cool that an S popped up there. I thought it was going to be a Philly, so I was going to start checking for Mr. Henning. Haven't been able to do that today. Interesting. I do have another interesting coin here that I got to show you. First of all, I saw this in the roll. Check out the rim itself. I don't know if this was drug behind a moving vehicle for about 20,000 miles, or if this is a midair. I don't know what's going on with this. If you want to comment on this in the comment section, please do. That, like I said, I have no idea. It's seen better time. I mean, look at the warpness of what's going on with that rim, too. It's like, wow. Fairly new, too. I don't even know if I can even get it. Oh, the date's, was it 17? I think it's 2017. But wow. Very interesting. Onward. Roll 31 of this nickel box hunt. And we finally got... Usually these come fast and furious, but not today. We've only had a 57. There was a 59. And around these parts, hey, this is probably going to be a D. That it is. A few little gouges there, but Other than that, decent shape. There's a couple here with D-mint marks. We'll see if we bring you back to this roll or not. Well, one of those D-mint marks for roll 31 is a 1954. There's the mark. That is the 19th find of this box hunt. He's still got plenty of rolls here. Could be aiming for 30. I haven't had too many go to 30 finds. Just steal another D in there. Ooh. Well, that other D mint mark, and by the way, let me preface it, that was on the reverse. What else would I be talking about the D mint mark? If it was on the obverse, it would be not an old coin, or an older one, let's say that. 1948, third find to this roll. Nice. That does indeed, if I turn it around right, have the D mint mark. You did have an earlier 48, and it was Philadelphia, so a chance for the mint cycle for that one too. We have several mint cycles in progress here. We'll see if we get them or not. That was the end of that roll. Roll 32 is up next. Okay, we are in roll 34 of this box, and find number 21 is at the bat. What a shocker. 1941. It would be even less of a shocker if it was a Philadelphia version of this. We have 5. I might have said 6 earlier, but we have 5. Well, this is going to be number 6 here. Do we have something other than Philadelphia? We had a San Francisco in there. No comment necessary. There's nothing else there, but we do have some other ones to look at. Yeah, same roll 34. We have our second find. Find number 21, or 22, actually, I believe it is. Numbers just, once the numbers start going back and forth, I have a hard time with it. 1940. Even though I was a decent math teacher, when I did teach, the numbers just aren't working for me like they used to. Remembering the numbers, I think. Anyway, we need a Philadelphia for the mint cycle. Are we going to get it? I would say there's a chance. Here it is. All right. Not a mint cycle that is rare because we could always get 40s and 41s, but go mint cycle for the 1940s. Roll 35 of this box set. And we've got one of the older 50s sticking its head out. It's over this way, sorry. There we go, 1956. Remember, once I show either 156, 57, 58, or 59, I usually will not show any other finds, unless there's something specific about it that needs to be shown. Usually these will be D's because of where I live, and there it is. Decent shape, by the way. Not perfect, but there's a lot of detail in that hair there and in the Monticello. That was find number 23. Still have the whole roll to check out. On to roll 39, and we have got our 24th find of the nickel box. Forgot what it was for a second. These are nickels, not pennies. 1952. We have not had a 52 yet in this quantity-wise, I would say two Civil War nickels and one semi-key date, 1950. Pretty good find. It's really 8. Look at it, it's an S. Very cool. 1952 S. Not a semi-key date. If it was a 51, that actually would have worked out, but not quite there. Still have a bit to look at here, though. You're on to the last row of 10 rolls. roll number 30 or 41, excuse me. Don't know if we have a find yet. If there is a find here, it's going to be the 25th. So we got a weird looking one here, rim wise. And of course, I'm thinking, it's going to be another Civil War nickel. That'd be nice. That'd be 3. Haven't had that for a while. Well, let's see. I don't know if it is or isn't. Okay, so I see the reverse is this way, so I'm actually just going to flip it this way. Whoa! I was totally not expecting that. Take a look at the rim versus that. What the heck? That almost looks uncirculated. The rim doesn't. This is in pretty good shape. Now, it looks like it has a top step, and that's about it for this, but whatever it is, we don't know if this is one of the newer ones, although I would say that this reverse does look like an older reverse. There are some differences reverse-wise, just in the way they're punched, more or less. Anyway, we'll have to see if we even have anything. The front side's got the same thing going. It's going to be in the 50s. 1955. Wow, it's a semi-key date. Nice. And this is in awesome shape. I believe this will easily be an upgrader in the primary collection. I mean, there's a little bit of a chic jab there. I mean, there's some notches there. But this is about as close to uncirculated as you're going to get. Very cool. Man, I'm pretty jazzed about that. I would say that'd be the 4th quality find we've had. Onward we go. Okay, we are on a roll 42 of this box on. We're going to have our 28th find. We had an extra 56D and 59D come up. The only thing that's missing is a 58, which usually comes in abundance. So we're still in the roll itself. You can see the first 3 digits, 194. It's got that toning. It's either, in my mind, it's either going to be a 6, 7, 8, or 9. And it will be a 6 on this one. So it's got that toning that I see so much on with these late 40s. Nickels. There is no semi-key date for 46. It's got some wear to it, definitely. And it will be a D. I believe we had a D earlier. It was either a D or an S. Well, we're at it. You know what? Let's go ahead and do a little success. Well, where was that at? Well, maybe it was this. Let's go ahead and check this out. We'll see if this is success fail worthy. It's got that tone to it. Not a late 40s one, but it does. I mean, it just looks like it's got oldness to it. Let's see. It will be 40s. 1947. Okay. Just a year later, and here we go with 1947. No semi-key dates for 47 as well. We have not had a 47. We've had 48, 49, 46, but we have not had 47, so I would say there's probably going to be a mint mark on this one. There's a lot of detail in those windows. But no, boom. Well, this gives us the first chance to check for the notch on the bottom of the R. I do not see that. It should be like a little dent or hole, so to speak. So it is not, most probably not a Huntin nickel, but I will weigh it later on. 29 finds. Got one to hit that magic 30 mark. And we've had 4 quality finds, so it's been a very awesome nickel box on so far. On to roll 44 of this box hunt. I don't know if we have our 30th find here yet or not, but we got a couple of interestingly toned rims here. Closer I get to this one here, this one looks like the real deal. This one looks like a faker to me. Let's try the faker first. And both of them could be nothing too, by the way. There's the faker. I get a lot of those, by the way, those newer portraits. Well, will this be the real deal or will it be a faker? I just saw the right side. That's the obverse. I'm going to turn it and hide the reverse. And I cannot tell. Well, we've already just showed it, and it's another P. We had two other Civil War nickels that are P's, and then the third one's gonna have a P too. Now, we've avoided the 43 up till now. We've had a 45P and a 42P. Will this be the 44P? A lot of wear, by the way. Let's go ahead and see. We already knew all three of those. It is the 3. I cannot help but to get so many of those. We'll check real quick here, although it's kind of hard to see without scoping it, but that does not look like the 3/2. But you know what? We're missing the 44P. We still have 6 rolls. I don't think any of these other ones are going to get it. And if anybody was thinking this was anything, I do not think so. This is a Buffalo. We'll check that out. Very cool. 3. Well, that will be the end of this box hunt. A little dry on the end of this, but we do have... we are actually on the last rolls. We're not quite at the end. Sorry, kind of got ahead of myself. 1954, we do have one or a couple already. I cannot remember, but I think we have a D and an S, and if that is true, that'll be the cycle for 54. We have a cycle for 40 and 54, I think. Anyway, still a little bit left to look at. Okay, now this is the end of this first of the 2025 nickel hunt. It was a very good one. I can't complain. No, I can complain. I can always complain, heck. But we won't. Maybe later. Let's just go through, summarize what we got here. Here sure is all the finds. So it was a lot. 31 finds. Like I said, can't complain about that. We had quality. Boom. Let's go at it. 1940, we had the cycle. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. One of each. 41, lots of Phillies. A few less on the Denvers, no S. So we did not get the cycle for that. 1946, we had a D and an S. 47, Philly. We had a 48, Philly and Denver. We had a 49, Denver. Sorry, I won't be getting into that quite yet. 1952, we had a San Francisco. 53 had a Denver and a San Francisco. I don't believe that's right. Sorry, go back to here. 52, that is the San Francisco there. I know I kind of blew this one up a little bit. This probably should be up here like this. We had a 54 Philly and a couple 54 Ds. 53, I'm thinking that actually is also Philly and Denver there. I don't know how I kind of screwed that up. But anyway, got it. I think we got through that. 56, couple of Denvers. 57, Denver. No 58. Wow. can't remember the last time I didn't get a 58D in any of these hunts, and then a couple 59Ds. Nothing foreign wise. You had this weird one of the newer ones. I think it was 2017. I have no idea what's going on with this coin. I don't believe it's a mint error, but who's to say? And it even actually kind of continues onto the rim too. So very weird. There's some shinies. There's a 64 there and a couple of other ones. Did find a couple of 24Ds. Which, by the way, I hadn't been finding in the last few nickel hunts, so it's kind of nice to find those. If you don't know by now, the mintage for 2024 is much lower than it ever has been for quite a while. I think since 2009. Anyway, quality-wise, there they are. You got 5 coins. These are all Civil War nickels, and they're all from Philly. 42 from Philly, 43 from Philly. Gee, I haven't seen enough 43 Phillies in the last 3 or 4 months. And then a 45 from Philly. So at least we did get some diversity there. Then a couple of semi-key dates. Man, 1950. I believe this is the 4th one in the last maybe 4 or 5 months, but just couldn't quite get that D, but I just feel we're getting closer on that. And then what I think is one of the weird finds of the whole deal. You wouldn't be able to tell what the obverse and reverse looks like from that rim, but take a look. Yowzers. It's a 55 Philly, semi-key date. And the only thing that really isn't, AU, MS about it, to be honest, is, and this happens with MS coins anyway, the top steps, maybe a step or two are there, but not full steps. And you can see some scratches on there too. That's why it's more AU than anything else. But still, it's brilliant. It's got that MS luster to it. But very cool. Got 3, let's move that one back down, 5 quality finds out of 31 finds. Very cool. Well, there it is. We won't be filling any holes, maybe in secondary or tertiary collection books, but we're going to look for varieties first, and then we will take a look at the collection books, and I would say that this will be an upgrader. Okay, so here we are. I checked all the finds for varieties. None were had. That's not a big surprise. Nickels don't usually give out too many varieties. Still have the same 2 holes. The one big change was 1955 with the hair on there. Yeah, the 1955 Philly semi-key date. Here was the old one. Here's the new one. And notice the little X mark on the cheek there. That really annoys me a bit. But it's still much more detailed. Nice and shiny. This one's seen better days, but it will fit in the second album, which is where that will go. I haven't shown these other albums for a while, and this will be the tertiary one here, the 3rd one. I probably will actually be starting a 4th one. I've got extra albums for all these. I get them at the local coin show, and they're, what are they, like $1 or something like that? Pretty cheap and whatnot. Oh, and by the way, I didn't show it on that primary, but that 1950, it had a kind of like a slug in the 1950 P spot, because I'm still waiting to send off some coins I had found in nickel box hunts when it was a 1950 Philly to grade. Actually, it's pretty uncirc. I'm thinking we'll get an MS grade to it, just for shits and giggles, because I will definitely will not get the money out of it that I'm going to be putting into it to get it graded. So anyway, There are some other nickels in there in that send off as well. I'm going to wait a few months before I do that. Anyway, this is the tertiary. Finally got to that. So that one that I put in the primary will actually go in here. There's that other 1950 that kind of, who knows what's going on with that, but it is a 50p. The 55 from the secondary album actually went in here, so that's brand new. And it's a filler. And I believe the 42 Philly also is another filler for the tertiary album. So as you can see, what do we got? 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more spots here. The secondary album, I believe, has like 4 or 5 spots still left. So not much there either. And of course, the primary still has the same too. That was it. You're done with this first nickel box hunt of the brand new year. We're going to go on to other things. Hey, let's go and look at some pennies. Let's look at the first penny box of 2025. Because, man, we had some, let's just say, not so good ones. I didn't even bother putting up any videos other than one short for a Canadian 1958 because there just wasn't nothing in there. There was some stuff in there, but they were just so common. It's like it wasn't worth even putting a video out for. So hopefully we'll get charged up for that, and that penny box will have something to look at. Well, for those who watched, thank you very much for doing so. We'll continue doing the long form videos along with the short videos. We're at this time, this is Sunday night, so hoping everybody has a nice coming week and or weekend, depending on when you watch it. You want to watch this a little bit, that's fine too. I get it. They can get a little bit long, but I'm going to stick with the one box hunts. They seem to be working out pretty well, except for the dead ones that kind of just don't do anything. And you just won't see anything from them. I'll just let you know how bad they were. You won't have to bother putting the time into it. Later on, folks, cheers to everybody. This is Silver Chupacabra signing off. Bye-bye.